Hello and welcome to the Blue Podcast Network. This is the Gold Show, the Premier League show, episode number 31. I'm here with Matt, Lenny and Henry. Boys, how are we all doing?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good, thank you.
I've been worse.
You've been worse? Well, Lenny, I don't think there's been a better night to be an
No,
Arsenal fan, has there?
fantastic.
We're going to talk about the Champions League. Declan Rice, where did you have that? How did you have that in his locker?
yeah.
Well, that was insane.
I was glad Odegaard didn't take it because going up to the first free kick that Declan Rice scored, I said, I really hope Odegaard doesn't take it.
Yeah.
Because he can't take free kicks. I think the last one he scored, I want to say, was against Burnley.
Yes.
2-3 seasons ago. The year became fifth. So to see Rice take it,
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to go in, if I'm being honest, but no.
Yeah, you haven't really got that free kick specialist, but maybe you do.
No, we do
now.
now. I think
thing
we
is,
do
I-
now.
I did think he was going to pass it. I thought he would pass it in and cross it in, but I said as a joke, I said, he should shoot.
Well, Nicolas Jova apparently said, cross it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
And Saka said to Rice, have it if you want. No, take the shot. We dominated the game.
Yeah,
We deserved to win that
He
game.
has the
Half
right
was
to take
mental.
as many free kicks as he wants.
Yeah,
from now on.
and I think that's probably the best night in Champions League history
Have you guys
for
on
the club
TikTok,
at the Emirates.
on TikTok? Have you ever seen the compilations of the Thunder C word?
Yes. Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah,
one
you
of them,
brought
isn't
it
it?
before,
It's
yeah.
one of them. Like
Yeah.
a CDM just crunching it from about 30 yards, and you're just like, oh my god.
It was an insane free.
Nemanja Matic-esque against Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
I think as well, you've
Beautiful.
got to consider the goalkeeper's Thibaut Courtois. This is not a
Yeah.
bad goalkeeper we're talking about.
No, was it? I thought it was their youth keeper.
No,
it was Courtois.
This is,
Courtois came back
this is
for the game.
not a bad goalkeeper we're talking about, and he couldn't do anything. I mean, have you seen the still image of his
Second free
of his
kick,
second
where
free
that
kick?
went.
It was
I might put it. I
Postage
might edit
stamp.
it in now, like
Yeah.
that image of where that landed. because
postage stamp.
You can't get further in the corner.
No.
He could take that free kick another 10 times and it wouldn't have landed where it did.
He had gone into the
So,
stands 9 times.
Best two free kicks from one player in one game in history.
Well, it's the first
No,
time
David
that's-
Beckham must have had a better one.
What,
Or the
in two-
Ronaldo,
in two
or
in one game?
Two in one
Ronaldo
game.
against Portsmouth.
Two in one game. I
Yeah.
said.
During the same game.
It's the first time it's
Beckham
ever
must have
happened.
done 2.
Yeah, but those two
In the
free kicks were
quarterfinals.
phenomenal.
They were, but I'm sure Beckham has done better.
What, in
don't
one
know for
game?
Sure. Surely he has.
No.
Not only was it against
And
one
against
of
Real
the
Madrid.
best teams
yeah.
in the world. I understand they're not on form.
They were
but still.
expected to go out quite comfortably as well, and they have turned it around and like beaten Madrid, which is fucking impressive. Don't get me
Declan
wrong,
Beckham.
but
I think
Declan Beckham.
do not sully the name of my Lord and Saviour David Beckham.
Roberto Rice.
He was in attendance, wasn't he, Roberto Carlos?
Yeah.
Oh my
I
god.
mean, he would have been proud of those free kicks for sure.
Spinning in his grave.
I mean, the funniest bit of it was the second one, just Mbappe's face, like the reaction they showed it. He just started laughing. He's like, "What can we do
no,
against that?"
it's a
Like,
phenomenal free
mate.
kick and you can't stop something like that.
Is it just me who misses the days where, like, if that would have happened against Madrid when it was like Ronaldo era, like R9 era, like if Rice had done that, he would have gone over and punched him in the face, not laughed it off. Like, come on, let's have a bit of aggression from you, mate. You're supposed to be beating Arsenal
Yeah.
and comfortably and going through to the next round. Have a bit of passion about you. lad.
There's still a second leg to play though. As magnificent as that first leg was, and despite it being one of the best nights, probably our best night or one of in Champions League history.
Yeah.
Mate.
Because the semi-final when we got into a Champions League final was a 0-0 draw against Villarreal,
Yeah.
in which we saved a penalty in the last minute. So
I mean,
a
Where's-
3-0
you
win
can-
over
you can
Madrid
feed-
has got to be higher.
you can feasibly definitely lose that second leg as
Yeah,
well, though.
that's-
Definitely.
that's a
100%,
concern.
There's a chance.
You went into the first leg. I went to first leg
Mate.
not really expecting to win the way that we did and not expecting to go through overall.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot of pressure because if any team could come back from this, it is Real Madrid, regardless
They've
of
done it
the form
before.
they're in. Yeah.
There's ways of beating big teams. Like, Arsenal? Where is your Matarazzo? Where's Jorginho
one-
not calling Mbappe's mum and just getting him sent off or something? Like, come on, have a bit of
The one thing
aggression, a bit of
But
passion.
they,
one
didn't,
thing
they
I
didn't
will
need
say-
it, did they?
No,
Arsenal?
they're talking on the
They
pitch.
don't- they
They're
don't
just
need to do
laughing
that.
on the
They don't
pitch.
need
Like,
to do
oh
that.
yeah, we're great. We're losing 3-0. Way.
Yeah, but we had to go out and win that. That's one of our biggest nights in
That
years.
is your biggest win in a long time.
So
Yeah.
we had it. And Real Madrid, and I've said this before, when teams come to attack us, we've been fantastic. PSV in the first leg tried to attack us. We ended up winning 7-1. City tried to attack us. And yet teams like Everton and Fulham, where they come to the Emirates, they sit back. We can't break them down. But
Well,
when they do,
I said to you
We're
before the
fantastic.
game, I think the chance you have is because Madrid will come at you, and they
Yeah.
will try and attack, and it will leave the space in behind.
yeah.
They were so poor.
Yeah,
Second
they were.
half
They
was
were.
absolutely abysmal.
Yeah.
They've not been that great on a consistent basis in La Liga this season. Sure, they're still in the title race, but it's not the not the level that you would expect from this Real Madrid team.
We've
I remember
seen-
people talking about it at the start of the season. Like, oh, this is the new Galacticos. They're going to cruise the league. Barcelona are probably going to win the league title, I reckon.
Yeah.
You know, they might
Yeah.
They're
end the
underperforming.
season.
Do you remember
Empty-handed.
Do you remember the Galacticos era? Because if you remember rightly, the years where they were winning Champions Leagues, they weren't exactly winning La Liga very comfortably, or not at all.
No.
Barcelona won a couple of titles in there.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't. I don't expect Madrid to cruise the league. I never do. But I expect them to put in fantastic performances in Europe. And up until this point, I think they have. I think they've been one of the best teams in the world this season up until this point.
Yeah.
But you can't go and lose 3-0 to Arsenal. That's the most insulting thing you can do. That's just going to insult. You've insulted the entire Madrid fan base by losing to Arsenal. Arsenal don't win in Europe. This is not what they do. Like, this isn't what happens. This feels wrong, if I'm being perfectly honest. It feels more wrong than Spurs being favourites for a trophy, and that's saying something. But
It's a different Arsenal side, though. It's not 2014-15
No,
where you scrape
no,
through
this
second
is-
in the
this
group
is
yeah,
a
stage.
but even
solid
your
team.
Invincibles never got this far.
They got to Champions League, not the Invincibles, but 2 years
Yeah,
after
but
we
you-
got to the final.
You were never the favourites for that.
What, in the final? We led by 0.
Didn't
led by
win,
nil.
though, did you?
No, we didn't win it.
No, but they
still.
they
No,
were
they're
in the final.
favourites. I'm just there
and
like,
we
what?
beat Madrid in that. We beat Madrid
How
at the
are
Bernabeu
Arsenal
1-0.
Tottenham two favourites for 2 European trophies this season?
I don't think Tottenham's
Tottenham are
favourites
not
for
the
the
They
conference.
are odds-on favourites.
Well, if they're
Bilbao
odds on
are.
favourites,
And
then
Bilbao will
I
be
think the
at home.
bookies are wrong.
Yeah.
Because
They are wrong,
I looked stupid because I said this before the game. But I looked at the betting odds, and Madrid were like, you could get like 7-2 on Madrid to win. I was like, that seems like a steal. But then Arsenal go on and win at odds because they were odds on. I was like, why are they odds
How?
on?
I think at home you've got to go out and you have got to attack, because against Bayern Munich last year, they weren't a great side. Bayern.
No.
At home we drew 2-2, and it sort of blew any chances. The second leg we weren't great. Bayern weren't great. They go through 1-0. So you have to be clinical
Yeah, I mean,
in that opening game.
according to Opta, as of this morning, Arsenal are the favourites to win the Champions League. A 28.4%
No.
chance.
Inter
It makes
Milan.
sense.
Yeah, Inter have got a good chance, but then Inter have got to get past Barcelona if that's the case. You know, that's
then-
a really tough test.
On us, if
You've
we
got
go
P-
through,
Got PSG or Villa.
yeah, and first leg will be at home.
Yeah.
So
That's difficult. You
the
never want
second
the
leg,
first
we
at
haven't played the second leg against Real yet.
No.
So we're in the best
Yeah.
position we can be.
You know
but
what's going to happen? Mbappe hat-trick, you go out. Let's be honest. Like, he's
I
turns
hope
it on.
not. I
turns
hope
it-
not.
No,
And
I know you hope not, but I just don't see it happening any other way.
Who knows? I thought he was actually one of the only Real Madrid players who actually looked sort of
Yeah.
half decent.
Yeah.
he
Like,
had one or
was
two
I'd agree.
chances going
taking
through.
players on. You know,
I have my issues with him, but that's a separate thing.
I think he's one of the best strikers in the world. Like,
Yeah,
he's-
yes,
you know,
100%.
I would rank him as the best, even though he's not got the most goals or assists. I just think his overall ability
I
is
think
a,
Harry
a
Kane's
joke.
probably the best, but it's tight.
Yeah, I mean, I love Harry Kane, but don't get me wrong. Who would I be more scared of playing against? Probably Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah.
He's a more well-rounded player who can play in
I
the
would
wide areas. Harry Kane is just a finisher, but if you, as a goalkeeper, if you have Harry Kane running at me, that scares the shit.
I'd
out of me, because I
argue-
know
Yeah.
he's scoring.
I would argue though, at the moment in world football, Isak's near that level.
I thought you were going to say
Right
but
now?
Jamie Vardy or something.
No,
At
at the moment,
coming out
because
your mouth.
it's the fact as well, Isak can bully people off the ball. There's not many strikers as strong as Alexander Isak
Yeah.
as well.
And
he,
it's clinical.
and he can finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got the dribbling. He's probably one of the more well-rounded ones because Mbappe's not got the strength. He's got the trickery and he's got the pace. He's got the shooting ability. Isak's got that and the strength, albeit not as much as Mbappe in the other categories.
He's
but,
a more physical striker, yeah.
but I do think Isak's probably one of the best in the world at
Yeah.
the moment.
Speaking of Newcastle, they cruised to a 3-0 victory at the King Power Stadium.
Why
on
did
Monday
I
night.
have to bring that up?
Yeah.
I didn't think about that, did I?
You set that up perfectly
I
for
didn't
me
even
to
think about that.
transition.
Moment.
As soon as you said Isak, I thought, yeah, we're going to King Power next. How
Yeah.
boring of a football match that
It's
was to
awful.
watch. It was so bad. I mean, you were you were there, so
Yeah, same story though as like the City game on the Wednesday before. Like it's just they score early on, they get another one, they get another one. I mean, it's just poor defending. I mean, look at that second goal. It sums up our season perfectly. Like someone's just thought, keepers off their line, fuck it, I'm shooting, and they've shot, hit the crossbar, keepers dive too early, and nobody's tracked the runner. I mean, if I'm a defender in that situation, I'm thinking, right, if this doesn't go in, it's going to bounce. So I need to be the first to react and I'm going to get there to bounce. But no one chases Jacob Murphy. They're like, oh, if he wants to score, if it bounces, fine, let him.
Mate,
Why are you doing that?
I'm scared that Newcastle are going to figure out a way to have some money to spend. Because if they have some money to spend, they sign 2 or 3 key players for that team. That's scary.
I don't really know what they need. I think a centre back could help them alongside Dan Burn potentially. Because I don't think Fabian Schär's world class if they want to compete in Europe.
Oh, I'd go the other way. I'd say Fabian Schär's the one to keep, and you get rid of Dan Burn.
But either way, they need a centre back.
Yes.
They don't need a striker.
No,
They've got good wingers because considering they did that without Gordon, they've got one of the best midfielders in the world.
Very, very quickly, do you want to quickly go around and say the positions that you need? I'd say they need a centre half, a full back, and a winger.
I don't know.
I'd agree.
I don't know about fullback, but maybe.
Because I think Lewis Hall is long term, but Trippier is not. So I'd say you want one more.
They got Livramento though.
It's not terrible, but I think you need one more experience.
Yeah, I mean probably another fullback, and a right winger. Despite Jacob Murphy having 16 goal contributions in the league this season, I think since December only Isak and Salah have gotten more. At like a certain point in December,
very good.
He's been unreal. 2 goals against.
He just.
Leicester
do you remember when
as well.
Iose Perez did that for a little bit? Like
he
it does
got
happen.
2 in the other fixture as well. But going back to us very briefly, it's kind of summed up where we've gotten to now. The fact that Harvey Barnes scored and people started cheering. But don't get me wrong, they're not celebrating the opposition scoring. It's a joke. Like they're basically saying, look, we're this bad. We've got to celebrate a former Leicester player scoring a goal. Like, that's how bad it's got.
What happened to you lot, by the way? You were FA Cup winners literally a few years ago.
Not the same team.
I've seen Newcastle fans saying like I saw this Newcastle fan on Twitter afterwards. He took a picture of the ground saying, look, this ground shouldn't be this empty. It shouldn't be this sad because this is a club that's in the last 10 years have won the Premier League and FA Cup and competed in Europe at a high level. And this has happened. Like, it's just, I don't even know. It's just, this is why, because people criticise me when I talk about the management of the club. Who else can you blame it on? Because the playing squad is the same. They've changed the managers. I don't get how
the appointment of Ruud has got to be one of the worst managers.
How has that gone that wrong?
I was going to say
it was never going to work.
The fact that
he
was so out of his depth.
He was not out of his depth. He didn't look like he was out of his depth at the start. He got a win against you lot. Somehow.
Yeah,
he's only win against you lot.
Can I just say...
is that not his only win?
No, he has got as many home wins against Leicester as he has home wins against Leicester managing Man United. Yeah. He's got 1 home win all season.
He looked great as caretaker manager Man United. And I thought he could take over a team like Leicester and like try and keep him up and then go and build something.
The thing we were promised was the fact that it will be more exciting because we'll score more goals and he'll really know how to coach the attacking players.
That's not happened.
We've not scored in 8 games at home and we've lost all of them. And that means, record-wise, we are the worst team in 133 years at home at the moment because it's since the formation of the Football League, it's the longest run without scoring at home.
Are you going to get rid of it?
Well, I hope so.
But are you?
It's the first time I've heard chants actually aimed at him because all of our fans don't like him and people have kind of known we need to get rid of him. But conceding again in 2 minutes in.
But what manager right now would want to walk into that club?
Are you going back to Steve Cooper?
It doesn't matter who we get in.
It would just be a caretaker,
no, because it does matter because you could end up with somebody like Neil Warnock or somebody like that.
If it was me, I would get someone who can stay for next season because the thing you've got to consider, something we get onto in a second, obviously, Ivan Juric has left Southampton. Yeah. They're going to be looking for managers. We need to be competing for the same managers because we need to get someone good in now who we can have next season.
But that's the level
they're
at.
You are a much higher level than Southampton. You can get much
they're both going to be in the same division next season.
No, but both as bad as each other.
Our fans have been called entitled this season for thinking that we should have had a chance of staying up. We are the same level as Southampton at the moment. I can say that as a Leicester fan. We're going down. We're 1 point above them. I'd argue at the moment we're worse than them.
No.
We're on a worse run than them by far.
They've got 1 more point.
Southampton had no hope. We knew what was happening to Southampton from the minute one. I expected much better from you lot.
Since we last scored a goal at home, they have sacked Russell Martin and sacked Ivan Juric. That's how long it's been since we scored at home. No. We're on the worst one in Premier League history.
But the difference is
we're the worst team in Premier League history.
The one thing that Southampton have done is provided some of the good players for Liverpool. You have won a Premier League and an FA Cup in the last 10 years. You could appoint a better manager than Southampton can.
Southampton was
so
Europe.
Any manager.
The only pool we've got is our training ground.
And you got a training ground.
We have a world-class training ground. That's our line. If you listen to any of the interviews of players who've joined us in the last 2 seasons, oh yeah, it's a lovely training ground. I love the training ground here. It's the only reason people join us at the moment.
Mate, you can appoint a better manager than Southampton by a long shot.
I don't think so.
The problem with Southampton is that they haven't been able to recruit the right managers. Nathan Jones was a dreadful recruitment by Sport Republic.
That is very true, yeah.
Russell Martin was the right manager to get them up.
Yeah.
probably should have gone beforehand.
If-
And then they appointed Ivan Jurek,
But
who plays a system
you
that
shouldn't
doesn't
be
work.
worrying as much as you want. What I'm saying is, if you have
Russell
a good
Martin's
manager,
the favourite for the Leicester job, and
Yeah.
he got sacked by Southampton.
Yeah, but
You-
I would
you
take
can
it for the
do
championship.
But
the
what I'm
reaction.
saying is,
But
if
that's
the-
the level we're at.
but
It
bear
doesn't
with me.
matter what we've done the last 10 years.
Bear
That's
with
the level
me.
we're at now.
Bear
It's
with
what
me,
we-
right?
It's what the club has done.
Let me finish. Let me finish what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you forget who it is, a fantastic manager who is looking for a job at a top level championship team would be great for any team that is looking to get promoted from the championship to the Prem. And your two options that have lead managers are Leicester and Southampton. He picks Leicester.
But the club's a circus. Why do you think Enzo
but
left
he
so
picks
quickly?
Leicester.
Enzo said the whole season last season he was saying, if the recruitment's not right and I don't get more backing from the director of football, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
He left at the first chance he got because he realised this club's a circus. I'm going to get embarrassed this season.
Yeah, but you can't say that because the club that came in for him was Chelsea, and that's
No,
And you
I
would
know,
take it,
I know. You take it, but
Right.
if even if it was a lower club,
pinch
he's
of salt.
still taking it.
Pinch of salt. You can't really say.
Because
I know
the
why
club's
you're
a
saying it,
circus.
but you can't.
If we
100%
get a good
confirm that.
manager in and they do well, they will leave it the first chance they get. No
You
matter
should.
who it is.
You should go straight back up, and if you're
We
not,
won't. There's no chance to go straight back up. I'm sorry, there's not.
Yeah, but people said that about Sheffield
We need a
United.
whole.
and
Yeah.
they're
We
where
need
they
a
are.
whole clear out of the squad and to reset because that's what we didn't do last season. That's why we struggled this season.
well, that's why you need to. If you're gonna keep Ruud van Nistelrooy, you need to decide it.
We
If you
can't,
need,
we
if you're gonna
can't.
get somebody else, you need to pick him now, and you need to start the rebuild now. You even if you rebuild your squad next season, you still should go up. Like
I
this,
don't think so.
that was the best team that's ever gone down when you've gone down the first time.
It was.
the best team that's ever got relegated.
And that is why I could blame the management because it's just got worse from there and it shouldn't have happened. And I think next season will be closer to what Luton have done than Sheffield United.
No.
We won't, don't get me wrong.
Absolutely
We will
not.
We will not be going down and we
Right.
won't be near it. But what I'm saying is we're not going to be pushing for automatics.
You're not so
I
you're
don't
not
think
saying
so.
the team that West Ham had with like Carlos Tevez and Mascherano when they got relegated.
I
Is
still think that
is
Leicester team was
not a bit-
better.
is
That
not a
Leicester
better
team was
team?
fantastic.
Right, recent. Yeah.
recent.
Anyway,
No, but even so, I still think it's better than that.
Right.
West Ham team.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do want to move on.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Don't
yeah,
wanna-
we
I-
should.
I
I
wanna
want
move on.
I want to talk about Liverpool because what on earth was that first hour that I watched? Absolutely horrible. Have you seen the highlights for the goals?
No, I haven't. I've tried
It
not
is
to watch Liverpool games.
calamitous.
I've seen it.
It
It's
is
awful.
so poor. First ball gets whipped into the box. Curtis Jones, rather than just booting it away, lets the ball deflect off of his knee, bounces straight into the path of Sessegnon, who fires it in. Second goal, Andy Robertson, mate. Please,
awful.
just
Guys,
don't be doing that. Come on.
please. I've been saying this for the last year and a half. Can we now be done with this? Oh, Curtis Jones could be a good player argument.
No,
can
he
we?
can be.
Can we please be done with it now? Because
He
he's
was playing
clearly,
at right back, to be fair. He was out of position.
He's not a right back. He's not a good centre mid. He is not good. Can we please be done
getting
with
your
this
team.
now? No, he wouldn't.
I think he would.
I'd take fucking Phil Jones over him.
No.
He's
I
terrible.
think he's getting. I think he's
Curtis
getting your
Jones
team.
isn't like
Phil Jones is better
he's-
than Curtis
he-
Jones, but
Curtis
he's
Jones,
retired.
Curtis Jones is a decent. He's a decent player. He's a good squad player to have in the squad
He's not
and
the
come
first
in.
name. He's not the first name.
No,
on
he's
the
not
team
going
sheet,
to be starting for
but
Liverpool.
he's okay. He's a decent standard.
Mate, he is atrocious.
But
He wouldn't get into
I mean,
your
I
team.
disagree. He started for England though, and he played quite well. Second goal, Andy Robertson tries to play the ball across the edge of his own penalty area and make a switch. You get taught that at about 7-8 years
Yeah.
old to not
Yeah.
do that.
What's
Tried
happened
it.
to him, by the way?
He's just not at the level anymore, and it's such a shame because he's a club legend. I don't like sticking criticism
you
onto
think
him.
he's not at the level full stop, as in like he's just.
I just think he's too inconsistent right now to be starting. Week
But do
in,
you
week
think
out
he
for
can
Liverpool.
get back to his level? Or do you are you saying that he's?
I
done at
think
that level?
I think it's done. The
Things
drop
that I
off
don't-
has been ginormous.
Did
But I
you
don't think that's
see the
disrespectful
argument
to
he
say. I
had
say the
with?
same about Vardy now. He's not the same level either.
No,
Mate, but he's not been at
just-
the level for about
No,
3 years
exactly.
now. but that's
No,
just a whole
no. I
other
mean,
thing.
last season, to be fair, towards the end of last season, he was pretty good. But yeah, that Fulham game was his worst of the season.
Yeah.
So he switches to play, and then he wins a header in the penalty area, bounces
Yeah.
to Alex Iwobi, and then Alex Iwobi's shot deflects off of Robertson and goes into the back of the net. So technically, he's made multiple mistakes in one go.
Oh my god!
And
Why
then-
was Kelleher starting, by the way?
Allison, he picked up a
Concussed,
concussion
didn't he? Yeah.
on
Oh.
international duty, and under the regulations, you've got
But
to wait
you
21 days.
I didn't
Oh,
know that.
Jesus. I think you expect more from Kelleher, though. I thought he'd have a better
Well,
performance.
yeah, I mean, again, could he really have done too
No.
much about the goals? I don't think so. Virgil van Dijk for the third goal, just, I don't know what he's doing. I love Virg, but like,
He's already in Paris, mate.
Muniz got absolute, just turn him.
Mate,
so
that's the one
easy.
thing about Liverpool next season. You're going to win the title this season and it'd be a fantastic side. It's kind of not falling apart, but you're going to lose Van Dijk, you're going to lose Salah.
Well,
you're going to lose.
You
Trent.
don't know that for
No.
certain.
The
You
only-
can't
Keller-
say
Van
for
Keller
Dijk's
certain.
has
just come
off.
out and said that they're progressing in talks. It's
Yeah.
positive.
Yeah.
you
Keller-
know?
I know
Keller
you
has
don't like
off.
Liverpool, but you can't just say
Keller-
they're going to fall apart because of that.
But the players that are leaving, that's what I'm saying. Like
You don't know that.
Well,
though.
Keller has off as well.
Yeah, but Mamardashvili's
Mamardashvili's
in.
But that's you have replaced him, but you still need to have time then to bed these new players in. You have to replace all these players. There's 4 new additions to the squad. You're going to mess
That's
up the
fine.
dynamic.
Alisson's going to be there.
Yeah.
Next season,
Alisson's still the starter
yeah. But what
when
I'm
he's
saying
fit.
is,
That is.
your squad is going through quite a big overhaul next season, and it's not going to be the same.
No, it won't be the same. But at the same
It's
time,
gonna take time
Did
to-
anyone like? Would we have expected us to be in the position that we're in currently right now?
No one
but
did.
we should,
No one did.
but we should have done, in my opinion, because it's the last year of all these players' contracts, and we have all. Whenever Salah is in the last year of his contract, he always bangs. We've seen this for the entirety of his Liverpool career. His best performances have become in the seasons where he needs a new contract.
I don't know about that because his first season was his second best. Because his first.
Ish. There's a couple of exceptions, but what I'm saying is, this was the last year that everyone was together, and we should have seen that they were going to go right. Fuck it, we're going to put in our best performances ever in this season.
I expected us to be up there, but I didn't expect us to be in the title race because Arsenal's and City's squads at the time,
Yeah.
No.
they just seemed better. Like
Yeah.
Gravenberg playing as a defensive midfielder. Nobody
But
saw
as
that
soon
coming.
as Rodri got that, I remember vividly in that Spain game when Rodri came off. That was the biggest cheer of the game for me. I was so happy because I knew City were going to be fucked next season.
Right.
And
That
I
wasn't
knew
where he even got injured though.
No, that was against us.
was it?
Yeah,
it was
the
against
final. That's what I'm
Arsenal.
saying. Spain,
Yeah.
Spain v England.
Spain v England.
What are you
in
on
the
about?
Yeah,
Euros.
do you remember the
No,
Euros
he
final?
came off at half time, but then he was fit for the start of the Premier League season. He was in
Yeah.
about 7-8
And then-
games.
and then- yeah,
Goodness
Against
me,
us, he
Henry.
went down.
I thought he got injured against
No.
Spain.
No.
I remember.
Oh my god!
Right.
I
Harry.
celebrate a
Right.
lot of Rodri injuries, all right?
Anyway, moving back to Liverpool because I do want to talk about the final half an hour. We were very, very good.
Yeah.
We should have found an equaliser. Really, Harvey Elliott hitting the bar. Want him to start next game. Luis Diaz came on, got a goal. Conor Bradley back from injury, got an assist as well. He looked brilliant. So there were some positives.
Fitting into that starting right back spot for next season.
Yeah, no, I think he probably he will be there, and then we're going to get someone else in, hopefully. But Bradley
Did you
was great.
Did you see the fight you had with Tsimikas had with Robertson on international duty? By the way, Scotland.
Yeah,
really
I saw a
hits.
little. Yeah, but again, there's not much.
Nothing in
that.
it. No, there's nothing in it. But it's just a bit funny where it's like Robertson's like trying to have a fight with this guy. It's like probably taking your spot next season, mate. So calm down a little bit.
I mean, I don't know who we're going to get rid of because he clearly doesn't seem to trust Tsimikas, even though I think he's been far
Which
better
is
when he's played.
weird. The fact that two good managers have now said that put basically
Well, it
not
does
trust
tell you
him.
stuff, doesn't it? Though.
Yeah.
Like there is a reason clearly because it happens at a lot of clubs that fans are saying, "Oh, this player should start, this player should start," but then they don't start. There's clearly a reason if this many managers are coming in and
If it
doing it.
were Cooper and Ruud van Nistelrooy, I would be a bit judgy of that because it's slot because it's Slot and Klopp. I'm kind of like, maybe they've got a point.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're 11 points clear at the top. Just get the two next two games, 2 wins. We've got West Ham and Leicester. Win those 2.
oh, that's a tough game for you.
No, but
Imagine you lose to Leicester.
Can I
don't,
just
don't.
say, all I would say, it won't happen, but it would be the most Leicester thing in the world to lose the rest of our games and beat you 1-0. Be the most Leicester thing in the world to do.
So true.
It would be very, very typical. I do want to move on to
Can we talk about the
Manchester Derby.
Yeah, can we talk about
One of
Manchester
the most boring games I've actually seen as well.
very boring?
so
we
dull.
outplayed them.
Do you think so?
But we did outplay them. I think we had the better chances. If we had a good foot striker, we would have won that game. If I'm being honest, Rasmus Højlund is awful. Xerxes ain't much better. I know we're gonna be better next season because we're gonna tear this squad apart. It's all gonna
But
disappear.
that's been said for years.
Sorry, you
Any
just-
manager comes
Sorry,
in and they
you
say
just-
the same thing.
Also, you just said that Liverpool are going to struggle because they're going to need to
They're
bed their
not
players
gonna
in.
win the title next season. Is what I said.
Well, you never know.
No, you're not.
find out,
And we're
won't
not
we?
going to win the title next season either. But we're going to be
No,
better.
or
All the
thinking
season
that.
after
And
that.
we're
All
going
the
to be more
season after
enjoyable
that.
to watch, is what I'm going to say. Because what we're going to do is, I'm taking back what I said about Ademola Lookman. He's not going to Fulham. He's coming to United.
Oh,
And I'm
okay.
going to bring in Ryan Cherky on for 18 million, who looks fantastic for 18 million, by the way. One of the best attackers playing in Europe right now.
Why would Lookman go
18
to United though?
Because
Can you explain that?
He's
to
at
me?
Atalanta. What do you mean? You go anywhere.
Well,
No
because
one else is in for
Well,
him.
Atalanta are in the Champions League, no?
So will we.
And Man United to
Oh
circus.
yeah, if you win the Europa League,
Man
you're not,
Un-
the Athletic Club are winning that
Can I say,
competition.
Man
or
United is
Lazio.
a bloody
Those two are winning
circus.
No,
It's
but
the
what
same
I'm
as
saying
us.
is,
As I said, we can't pull a decent manager because we're a circus behind the scenes. You're the same. You can't pull too many good players because
we're
you're
not a circus
circus
behind the scene.
You are.
I think you are. I think you are.
Okay, let me go through it, right. So actually, if you look on the sporting side, we've got some very intelligent players, staff in these kind of key positions. Okay, so we got rid of Dan Ashworth. I don't know why we did that. That's a bit stupid in my opinion. But we've still got Christopher Vell, who worked at all the Red Bull clubs and then was at Chelsea and did a bunch of their signings. We've still got Omar Barada, who is a solid CEO. I have no options with him. And we've got, what's his name? The guy from Man City. He was the head of recruitment. Jason Wilcox, who's our technical director now. And he's great at bringing through youth. And a bunch of other guys kind of behind the scenes. So I think in staffing-wise and sporting, that's fantastic. When it comes to the issues with the ownership and the Glazers and Sir What's-His-Face, I forget his name, that's the one, and the ticket pricing and the kids' meals.
I saw some protesting videos. Goodness me, they were saying some things to the Glazers that were really
don't
brutal.
Think I've said some really depraved things on this podcast for the last year. I've said some what was the Leicester thing, and there's a few other things
I was going to say that got cut out, so you don't need to say what that was.
I'm not going to say anything worse than that, but imagine that I just did about the Glazers, because that's how I feel. I want the worst for them. Out of anybody in the world, I hate them with a burning passion.
But do you actually hate them? Because you know how much energy it takes to actually hate something.
And I think that sums up Man United fans to a T.
So Henry said something. I'm going to say. So Henry said something that's been cut. Basically, he doesn't like the Glazers.
Yeah, that's all we need to say, right?
Yeah.
But I think their involvement is becoming less, which is a good thing. I know Jim Radcliffe isn't exactly set the world alight here, but it's better than what it was, which isn't saying much either. But that's not the point. Next season, we're going to have a decent budget because we're going to make some key sales. You're looking at Sancho, Rashford, and Anthony as being key sales, and a few others. Plenty of other players will leave around the squad. Some aging players like Casemiro and Eriksen will go as well. Big wages off the books, and I think you look at our defence. I think our defence has been quite good this season. I think if you look at Martinez's stats, looks fantastic. De Ligt has been pretty decent. Yoro's been great when he's played. Aiden Heaven's been ridiculous in the couple of games that he's played.
Ridiculous.
He played fucking Leicester.
Come on.
He played Leicester City.
And was
who can
great.
see goals for fun.
So we've got a good corpus
ridiculous,
of defenders there. We're going to need a couple more. We find players that can actually play right mid and left mid, because only Dorgu can currently. Dallo I want to punt into the sun. And put in some strikers and attackers who are actually exciting and can finish. And we're looking quite good. Like, the main issue we've got is that currently our forwards are atrocious.
Yeah.
Fix that, we're looking better.
Yeah, I mean, you did create a few chances. Like the opportunities are there. It's just the team's not putting them away.
Did you guys? I put it in the chat earlier. Did you guys see the team that I put together?
I did. Yeah, I had a little look at it.
What did you think? I want your opinions.
I don't think it's terrible. I mean,
I don't think you can pull half those
coming.
players.
I don't think.
Well,
The only pull you've got is that you're Man United.
I don't think Petrovic would go down.
I don't know that's a decent pull. Don't get me wrong. I know that's a very decent pull.
I'll
You're
go
Man
through
United.
a couple of them, just very quickly before we move on. I said to you guys, I think we could get Petrovic out of Chelsea because he's been disrespected by them and sent out on loan to Strasbourg, which is, he should be starting.
I think that one's fair enough. Probably.
And I think we could probably say to him, look what Chelsea's done. We'll give you, Chelsea want to make some FFP back. We'll give you like 30, 40 million. You come to us, you're going to be way better than Onana. Pavlovic out of AC Milan, not playing, but looks fantastic. His numbers look amazing defensively.
I'm going to say, because he's definitely one you could pull, because we were linked to him in the January window and we nearly signed him. So if we could, you definitely could.
100%. And he complements the likes of Martinez very well, because Martinez is a pressing defender. He's very much a sitting tackler, which is great. So that
if you need one of them, you can have Yannick Vestergaard.
I'm good.
He pocketed Ronaldo.
He did.
Obviously, Ahmad can play right mid, but I think we probably could try and go for Frimpong. I think we should try it. It's difficult. It's difficult, but I think we could try it. Bruno dropping, obviously. Ugarte staying. Dorgu staying. And then, obviously, I said it before. Adamola Lookman.
No.
Ryan Cherky. Ryan Cherky is doable.
Yeah,
that one is.
Lookman, I think, is more doable than you think, because no one's in for him. If you guys were in for him, I'd say it's harder. But because no one's interested right now, and he's pissed off about Atlanta, he's not happy, I think it's doable.
I'd be surprised if he goes anyway.
Yeah,
I would.
Considering you're most likely going to have no European football next season.
And then at striker, if we can't get Gyökeres, obviously Delap's been linked, but I think there are better options. Victor Boniface or Retegui, again out of Atalanta. Both been incredible finishes, which is exactly what we need. Somebody who can just put the ball in the back of the net somebody physical enough to challenge in the air, but again, good finisher, good gets lots of shots off, good high quality shots off.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I mean,
breathe
there
in.
you go. Gone through all
Fix
the
Man
Manchester
in about
United
5
stuff.
minutes. There you go. Put me in charge, Ed. Go on.
I do want to talk about Chelsea and Brentford as well. I know they drew 0-0, but
Bit
the
of a
fact
dull
that
game.
Cole Palmer and Nicholas Jackson were on the bench.
They need to rest them, in all fairness.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah.
are they resting them for the Europa Conference League on
Who have they-
Thursday?
who have they got then?
Leggy Walsall.
registered in the
I mean,
second
yeah,
half.
we
Oh,
beat
yeah,
we
yeah,
beat
yeah.
them. Yeah, anyone could beat them really.
But like, they were
In the-
both on the bench, and he's starting. And Kunku still. Chelsea fans, they've had enough of him. He just
What,
doesn't.
Enzo?
Who, Maresca?
In Kunku, a lot of Chelsea fans are beginning to get. Have had
Yeah,
enough
he's
of
not done
Maresca.
anything this season. Obviously, he had that injury last year, which is a shame. But I just think it's not going to work out. It's not with Palmer sat in this spot.
I think Maresca's not. He's okay. I don't think he's a man to take Chelsea to winning Premier Leagues. And
I still
stuff.
don't think they should have got rid of Pochettino.
No, neither.
I
I've
found
said that
very
from the
That
start.
was a
decision.
weird move. I did
Yeah.
agree with that one.
I don't see why. I don't think Enzo is the man to win them trophies.
Sorry.
Leave it alone.
Can't help it.
But yeah, I don't think he'll win them anything major. He might win them a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup if he stays next season, but I can't see them winning a lot under him.
Yeah.
He's got to win the Conference League or it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Has to.
But he will. Because their opponents are Legia Warsaw.
Well, I mean, they've got Real Betis and Fiorentina on the other
Fiorentina,
side.
yeah.
Anthony Masterclass incoming.
Oh,
Fiorentina
God.
can't-
If
Could
you
Anthony wins a
imagine
trophy-
he scores
if
the
Anthony
winner?
wins a trophy, I'm not having it. I can't sit here in a world where
That
Anthony-
would be unreal if
Oh.
Anthony scored.
No,
the winner
no,
runs
no,
over to
no,
all the
no.
fans, hit the badge, the everything, the lot.
No. no.
That'd be so funny.
I
I
think
mean,
so
don't be
too.
wrong. You'd probably get a little bit more money if he
Yeah.
did that. So maybe that's the positive.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Got to think of it that way, Henry. You know, he's probably not going to
if
be
it
a Man
gets his
United
look
player.
win, then maybe it's a good thing. But fuck
Yeah, but going back to Maresca, I just don't think he's not that great.
No.
no.
I
Go back
just
to Poch.
yeah, but Poch isn't going to leave the US national team.
reverse
Is he?
card. Let's just
We
hit
were
that one and
we
go
were
back.
we were winning that league last season, no matter who we had in charge. What has he really done for Chelsea that you wouldn't expect him to do?
Imagine what would have
They had a great
happened.
start. They had a great
They
start.
Yeah,
did, they did,
unbelievable
but,
start.
But no one ever thought they would keep it up.
No.
That's why no one ever said they were in a title race.
Imagine what would have happened if back when we were choosing Ten Hag or Poch, if we'd have gone for Poch.
Yeah.
Imagine what would have happened in a different world.
Yeah, definitely. Well, would have done a bit better for sure. I think.
Yeah.
Just Ten Hag. No, I just don't think he's that
He's
great.
getting the Roma job apparently.
Yeah, no, he was in attendance, wasn't he, for the Roma Juventus game? I mean, they're both going to
Despite
be
the
new
fact
managers.
Ranieri has been their best manager in
Yeah, but
ages.
Ranieri won't win a state. He only came in
No,
because he
he's-
said he would go.
but he's been
Cagliari
superb.
or Roma.
No,
Can't
yeah,
say
he said as Lenny just said when he was there, he said if the only club he'd come out of retirement for is Roma,
Roma,
really.
yeah.
Because
So
he
he's
support-
come out
He
to
supports them, and he had his best years there, other than the year he won the Premier
I
League.
was going to say.
Well, no, but he did have very good
maybe
years
he'll
at
become
Roma.
a director or something. And go
I love
in
him.
The top in the board.
Yeah.
But
Southampton relegated, 7 Premier League games to go.
Wait, really? I'm
they
shocked.
they become the quickest team to do that in
surely we saw this coming.
Premier League history.
No, I actually thought they were going to stay
Not
up.
this bad.
Yeah, I saw this.
No.
being
No,
bad.
no, no,
You
no.
Nine
I said it at
points.
the start of the season.
After
I
Division
said,
31
9
games.
points
No.
after 31 games.
Yeah.
I said to you at the start of the season they are the worst team to ever come up. I said those words.
No.
I did.
The worst thing is, I still think that Sheffield United side last season
Well,
was
worse.
much worse.
Yeah,
Not
I'd agree.
Much worse. Southampton can score goals. They ship a lot of goals.
I'd
don't get
also
me wrong.
argue Southampton are not the worst team in the division this season. I'd say we are
No, you're not.
at the moment. Well, maybe not.
You're
maybe,
too self-critical.
Maybe
2025.
Maybe
yeah.
not under Cooper, but under Van Nistelrooy, we're
Okay,
definitely
that's
the
not
worst.
great,
Saying.
but you're not the worst team in the league. I expected better from you, but you're not the worst team in the league.
I
But
think
that's not because Steve Cooper was better, to be clear. Sorry, that's not because Steve Cooper's a good manager, to be clear. It's just because
No,
Ruud
it's
Van
better
Nistelrooy
Because
is
Van Nistelrooy
absolutely
has just
awful.
bombed. I feel so sad for him, man. I expected better.
No, he's an awful manager. I hope he doesn't get another job for the sake of whichever club takes a risk.
He'll be back at PSV next season. Watch.
Well, Ajax will have the easiest league win ever.
Yeah.
He's got no tactical idea.
I'll tell you what. There's another Dutch striker you could have who's a manager now. Who's at Feyenoord at the moment. You're gonna have him.
Robin Van Persie.
No, but
He
Southampton,
will be good.
Southampton I
I-
genuinely would say are better than us. They're better than Sheffield United last season as well.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about it, about
problem-
you lot too much because
No, I'm just saying though, that Southampton are not the worst Premier League side ever.
Moving back to the Saints.
Like
they-
I said a
go on.
minute ago, the recruitment's been wrong under management. So
Yeah.
Sport Republic came in, sacked Hassan Hujel, in which they went down that season, and he was manager to keep them up
Yeah.
for several seasons when the squad was always fluctuating around the bottom.
Did you see the leaks?
He
Apparently he's
probably-
coming back.
Who? Hassan Hujel?
Yeah,
Is that Wolfsburg? He's doing fine at
Why
Wolfsburg.
would he go back?
He wouldn't.
I saw
First of
something
all, yeah, but
on Twitter
those
that said
owners-
he was coming back.
Those owners got rid of him after about a month, 2 months.
Are you
I think
sure
they
those weren't
realised it's
jokes?
Stupid.
Are you sure those weren't jokes that you were reading online?
Maybe it was April 1st.
Maybe it's like Southampton fans begging him.
Southampton.
To come
I
back.
think it might be Southampton fans because obviously that was the stupid. Why would you? Hasenhüttl was great.
Yeah, but at the time they were bottom. They just lost 4-1 to Newcastle.
They'd lost
If
9-0
you want to
twice
stay
as
up
well.
after being
and they
in the
lost
year,
9-0 to us.
No, I mean I get it, but like even before that,
Yeah.
like when they sacked Claude Puel, wasn't it? And
Yeah, after the season.
you
Got
know,
them
he
to a
got to a
final.
Carabao Cup final and had a goal harshly ruled out.
Pellegrino,
You know,
Mauricio Pellegrino,
yeah,
he's
exactly.
not bad.
You know, they've
Do you remember
sacked
they
some
had
decent managers.
Gabbiadini as well?
Well,
Yeah.
going to what Lenny said,
It's Nathan Jones.
with
next.
with recruitment though, their recruitment has been wrong. And the thing that everyone always says is when you're going up to the Premier League, the recruitment has to be right. If you get the recruitment wrong, you don't give yourself a chance, and they've got it
I
wrong.
think-
But how has 6 teams in a row not got it right?
Yeah,
That's
but
what I don't understand. 3 teams were down last season that went up the year before, and the same again this season. How have 6 teams that have come up in the last 2 years?
I guarantee you as well, it'll be
Yeah, but-
9 next season as well.
Ivan Juric wasn't the right appointment.
Oh, yeah, that was
His
silly.
aggressive man-to-man style doesn't work for Southampton.
It didn't work at Roma either. He was sacked by
didn't work at
Roma earlier
Roma.
this season.
Yeah, but he did well at Torino. He did well at Hellas Verona. So that's probably why they looked at him there. He wasn't good enough. I understand why he's walked out after they've been relegated. I think.
But I don't get why he's walked out
Yeah,
and
but
not
I-
been sacked.
I think-
he was awful.
I think fair enough. No manager's going to want to walk in when they're just about to be relegated.
No.
He wanted to do the best for them. He couldn't. After they've been relegated, he walks out. He gives them time to look for new managers, which they probably was already
I
doing.
think it's the best thing to do.
A caretaker
Yeah.
comes in, so Adam Lallana and Simon Rusk, and then next season you've just got to go with the
Oh,
basics.
yeah, I saw that.
Danny Vole or Liam Rosner, which I don't think he would go.
They
No,
would
I
go.
don't
I
think
don't
he would.
think he'll leave.
No,
Danny
he's been
Vole-
brilliant for Strasbourg.
Danny Vole, he was at Southampton as an assistant. That is the obvious
Liam
option.
Rosner must be in the running for the Chelsea job if they lose Maresca. Has to be, surely.
Could be.
Has to be. I'm not saying he's getting it, but I'm saying he should be considered.
Yeah, but you don't want to have so much inconsistency.
But what I'm saying
Yeah.
is he's
No.
way above the level of Southampton.
Who?
Liam Rosner.
Well, yeah, what he's doing at Strasbourg.
Yeah,
at the minute,
Yeah.
Danny Roll is the choice that I
Danny
think
Roll
they'll
is the
look at
one,
because
yeah.
as well he's worked with the team there because he
was
used to be the
assistant manager.
assistant and
Yeah.
yeah, they apparently they're big admirers of him.
Yeah.
But I bet they go for someone different
Left field.
out there.
They
Doesn't
might do,
necessarily
yeah.
Work out. You
But
want the
that,
best
but that worked for us
Southampton,
last
but-
season. It might work for them next season.
Yeah, but
There weren't that many great choices last season, though, to be fair.
Russell Martin
You tired,
works
Henry?
for them
Little
in the Championship
That's a problem.
because he was already at MK Dons. He was already at Swansea. Brought him up.
I tell you what,
Football.
not Liam Manning. What's his fucking? Des Buckingham would be a good shout. He left Oxford this season and was.
I'd rather Liam Manning, to
very
be honest.
unfairly.
I'd rather have Liam Manning.
Liam Manning's something to do.
I've said for us, I want Liam Manning because I think Danny Roll's going to go to Southampton.
Well,
so he won't
another
be an
man
option
to
for
rinse
us.
out is David Wagner. 'Cause
Yeah,
he's
he'd
at
be a good
Huddersfield
one.
and Norwich.
Oh,
I'd rather-
Jesus
I don't think
Christ,
so.
please
I
don't
would.
do
I'd
that.
rather have
That's
Liam Manning
depressing
though.
as fuck.
I'd rather have Liam Manning.
Right. I
I
mean,
or Dean Lewington. He's just retired. You can have him.
oh, for goodness sake. Anyway, Tottenham did end up winning that game 3-1. Brendan Johnson got 2.
Yeah.
Matisse Tell took the penalty and scored. Is that his second goal for the club?
I think
wanna
it's
say?
first.
First goal for the
Premier
club.
League.
What
First
has
Premier League.
happened to
Premier League first.
What
Okay.
has happened to Martinez Tell? Because I thought he was going to come in and actually be the exact player that you lot needed. I was so unhappy when you got him and we didn't. I was like, we need a striker. You need a striker. Surely he's going to come in and take over and get some good.
But I just
good
think it
shots.
sums up Tottenham's season. I mean, even like the majority of the fans, I was watching and like on TikTok and stuff like that. They won 3-1. Still weren't very happy that they beat Southampton because they
They're
weren't
never
happy with
happy.
the,
Well,
with the
expect to,
performance.
wouldn't you?
Yeah,
You
I know.
would.
I know you'd expect to, but like,
I mean, even us, we'd expect to beat them, even though we've not scored in 8 games at home. Like, that's the thing.
no, yeah,
You do expect to beat them.
Yeah.
no, I totally get that, but yeah, it's just
They're just
where
bottle
do
jobs, aren't they?
where do Tottenham go from here, really, in terms of like Postecoglou? Because of course, you know what happened at Stamford Bridge,
I
him
thought-
cuffing his ears like that to the fans.
I think he'll go at the end of the season.
It's difficult to justify keeping him, especially when there are actually suitable candidates that are available. You go to Bournemouth, you take Iriola.
He wouldn't go.
He would.
He wouldn't go.
He
Don't
would.
know.
It's
Tottenham. I don't think Tottenham got the pull.
Viola, but I think he might.
The only reason is potentially now because they've dropped off. If they'd kept on the form they were on and they'd got into Europe, they got into the Europa League potentially, then maybe not.
But look at the
But
Liverpool
potentially
teams.
now that they're not going to be. But then again, Tottenham
Yeah, but
might not be in
Nuno-
Europe either.
Nuno went there after Wolves, didn't
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that
It
didn't
didn't
go very
work out
well.
there.
But you could there's plenty of managers in that mid-table spot where you can go and you go, okay, you're doing a fantastic job. I could have you. So Iriola being one. I also think you could look at who's the guy at Palace, Glasner.
Yeah.
His head's been swung a little bit before. I reckon he's doable. I also think there's a break clause in Graham Potter's contract. You can go and take him out of West Ham.
Take him from West Ham. Oh my God.
Take him from West Ham.
I think Spurs fans should
I
look
think
at
he's done a good job since he's come in, and he was always great at that kind of low-level Prem team like
I
Tottenham.
wouldn't say it's worked
I just
out
don't.
yet.
I think Iriola. Looking at Bournemouth, of course, like this is his second season there now.
Yeah.
Why is he going to go ahead and look at where Tottenham are? Tottenham are lower in the table, and they've got a bigger stadium, bigger fan base, all this sort of stuff.
They're a
Why
bigger
would you
club.
not wait for a side that's doing better potentially? Who knows? Maybe if he wanted to go back to Spain, let's say Diego Simeone leaves in a couple seasons' time.
When?
Hold out and wait for that, or wait for the athletic club job to be open. He's a club legend at that football team. They're doing very well. Why would you go ahead and look at Tottenham?
I don't see
the state that they're in right now. The fan base
Right, hang on,
is totally torn.
Let me kind of tear apart a couple of your bits there. Roddy just made a very good point, but that's
But
we'll come
why
on to
would
that.
he-
But we'll come on to that in a second. Athletic Club limitations because of their transfer policy. It's a harder job
But
to
he
manage.
loves the football club.
And also, it's great right now. If their next generation isn't that great, they slump back to mid-table for a bit. Like it could happen. Atletico Madrid, Simeone's been there for longer than any other manager in Europe, and he's not showed any signs that he wants to leave. That he will be at that club until he drops. Genuinely.
But why is Tottenham the option?
Don't wait for that
Yeah.
because it's
Tottenham's not the option. Tottenham's
No.
not a step
Tottenham
up.
is a European club that is out of
No, at the
favour.
moment
It's,
it's not.
one of the top 6 teams. It's out of favour. It's an attractive job. To rebuild Tottenham is an attractive job. It is.
You say
I don't
it's
think
an
so. I don't
attractive
think so
job,
either.
but look at what Conte said. Look at what Mourinho said. Look at what the former managers have said.
I also think
they've berated them.
But I do think that era is coming to the end because I do feel like the momentum swinging. There are interest. Daniel Levy, I think, will leave.
No, but
very,
this is the
very
thing.
soon.
Until he does, the high class managers won't want to go there because they know that they're going to have problems with the hierarchy. It's the same
But it's
with
still a
Manchester
massive
United.
step up from Bournemouth, and no one else is looking at Iriola right now.
But why would you leave Bournemouth necessarily if they're higher in the league table? They're performing better. You're building something there. You're loved by all the fans. I get that you're saying money.
He's still getting paid well
But
anyway,
not-
though.
but
But
not
not
paid
just pay.
well.
But not just pay. I'm talking about transfer budget. I'm talking about quality of
They
player.
can have a lot of money to
Bournemouth
spend this
can't
season,
track the same
no?
quality
big
of player
pull-
as Tottenham
The
can.
big pull is living in London, really.
and
I'd
also
say.
the fact they're in London. Yeah,
But
a
that's
good point,
really.
yeah.
But he lives got the Bournemouth
What
beach.
I'm saying is,
you know.
nice.
Tottenham
It's
can go
nice.
out there and sign the biggest names in football.
They can't.
No,
they
they
can't.
can't.
They can't.
It's Tottenham.
What do you mean Tottenham could go out and sign the biggest names in football?
Oh, yeah,
you,
let me
think,
just-
you think Vinicius Junior and Kylian Mbappe
Oh.
are looking at Tottenham
Okay,
Hotspur
okay,
Stadium and
okay,
going,
okay,
you know
hang
what,
on,
I want to
hang
play
on,
there.
Hi, Kylian, do you want to come to Tottenham? No.
Okay, hang on.
You don't?
We
Okay,
can't
fine.
even. Liverpool
Who-
can't even attract the biggest stars, and we've
Yeah.
won 6
Okay,
Champions Leagues.
maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but what I'm saying is, who's the biggest name you've signed recently?
Tell probably was.
No, go back a little bit further. Go back a little bit.
Big-
Further. No, like in the last few years, like a big name you've signed.
There is no
At the peak
one.
of their powers, like for example, you signed Ndombele and Lo Celso back when they were actually
Oh
good
my
players.
goodness!
There's
Yeah, but he was
nobody.
playing for
No way.
Lyon.
This is what you're saying. There's
There is
nobody.
no
though.
way.
I'd say Romero. I'd say probably Romero.
Chris Romero, there is no way Bournemouth are getting anywhere close to those players at the state that they were
No,
in.
But they
they've
make
got
them.
the right
They're making
setup.
them.
They've
They're
got the
making
right
them.
recruitment. They've got the right system. They're getting the new stadium, the extended stadium as well. You know, this is.
Yeah, extended from
It's-
15,000 to
Yeah,
about
but it's an
20.
exciting thing to be a part of.
Yeah.
I
How big
wouldn't
is
look
the
at Tottenham
Hotspur
Hotspur.
Hey, but
Stadium.
also,
62K.
also,
I wouldn't look at Tottenham right
Bournemouth's-
now and say that's an exciting thing to be a
Henry,
part
I
of.
think you are downplaying Bournemouth a lot.
Bournemouth
you're making,
signers.
I am a little.
you're
okay,
making
I am.
out as
And
if
it's
they're
no-
still a championship club.
It's no
They're not.
disrespect to Bournemouth. Obviously, Bournemouth have done a really good job of working with what limited funds and budget
no,
they
you
have.
say that. Look at their owners. They own the.
It's
what
Michael
is
B.
it?
Jordan,
LA
isn't it?
Raiders.
I think they own one of the
Vegas.
French clubs
Raiders.
as well because they signed Ouattara from them.
Oh, Lorient.
Right.
Lorient, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's levels to this, right?
No, I get it in
Golden
terms
Knights
of
as
club
well.
level, but right now, I don't think he should be looking at Tottenham and going, yeah, you know what, that's my
he
next
will.
step.
And I think it is the
'Cause I don't
right
think it
step,
is.
because you go to Tottenham, you do a good job, you get them back into the top 4, and then you look at you're Spanish, you go, okay, Ancelotti's off, Real Madrid job, but you're not going to jump straight from Bournemouth to Real
No.
Madrid, are you?
You never know.
Fans are going. Fans are.
I don't see why not.
No.
The
not
thing
happening.
is, you do realise what
If he
will
does well
happen, right?
enough.
What I'm saying is, you go to Tottenham is that next level, a big club that isn't winning stuff, but you can get a good performance out
No.
of them and then earn a bigger job.
Because
than
if it
that.
goes wrong,
If it
then
goes
you're
wrong,
then your name's a
Yeah,
bit
but it could
screwed.
go wrong at Bournemouth next
Yeah,
season.
Like, look
we've
at-
spoken too much about this anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
We've spoken too much about
We
it.
have.
Ipswich against Wolves. It's
That's
the final
it.
game that we're going to talk about, and then we'll rush through the other
nail
three.
in the coffin. We're done.
Ipswich
It's
had a chance,
depressing.
but that's it now. You can't bottle a game like that against
Yeah, that was your chance to stay up. and you
especially
bottled.
against a team that is so much better than Ipswich and better than us. Yes, they are.
no,
you say
no,
that.
no.
You say that, but
Rip into him.
under Vitor Pereira, Wolves have been very good,
No, they haven't.
and I don't think you
How?
can knock that.
Give me
Right, so
stats.
in the last 4 Premier League games, I'd like to say they've got 10 points.
Yeah, they
out of
have.
12.
Even if you go back
It's
to
the
5,
first.
they've
It's the
got
first
11
time in
points.
Premier League history that a Wolves player have scored in 3 consecutive wins in Strand Larsen.
Yeah.
So a player that wasn't necessarily firing, and the Gary O'Neill is now firing under Strand
Okay.
Larsen. Gomez and Andre midfield have been fantastic.
Brazil,
Have been
they've got a
fantastic.
Brazil international in their
Have been
midfield.
fantastic. Yeah, Cunha. I understand it's league.
Two, in
Cunha,
fact.
Cunha is
I understand
ridiculous.
it's
Brazil
leaving.
internationals.
But look at them to the start of the season. And now look at them now. And look how far they've been able to
Okay.
pull away.
I can see that Vitor Pereira is better than Gary O'Neill. I can see that, and I can agree with that 100%.
The only concern is that how long does he stay for?
What I'm
Because he
saying-
doesn't stay for clubs for long.
Well, no, that's not even what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking
You're
is,
thinking they've got to go down next season.
I am, yeah, because I'm thinking Strand
No
Larsen, this
chance.
is a purple patch, 100%.
No, it's not.
not.
No.
No.
He's a young player
No,
who's
no.
finally hit
He hasn't
form.
performed all season. He's performed the last few games. That's
I-
great, but it's
I
not
don't
gonna
think
continue.
that's true.
It's a-
anyway.
I think we just said about
Cunha,
a new
Cunha's
manager.
off, and if Andres is as good as you say he is, he's going to get picked up as well.
11
they
league
have
goals,
no
2
money.
assists.
So they get-
their
You don't get 11
fucked.
goals in the Premier League from a purple patch. 11 goals in the Premier League is a decent return, especially when you consider how they started this season and when he's got Cunha getting all the goals.
Cunha leaving will stunt his.
I don't know, but he hasn't
growth.
played in the last few games, has he?
Yeah, and they've won
I
all
understand
three.
it's Ipswich and Southampton, but Ipswich were going to be up for that game.
And you're
Yeah,
saying
they should have won it.
and
They
you're-
should have
no,
won
but
it,
you're
but-
you're saying as
Wolves
well.
had 22 shots.
You're saying
I think
that
they did.
Wolves don't have a massively better squad than Ipswich. So if you're saying that, they've beaten Ipswich. So they're doing that without Cunha. So surely then they're going to stay up. If they can
Wolves'
beat the lower
squad
league squads.
is comfortably in the relegation battle.
When Wolves lost to
And
Ipswich,
it's gonna
Gary
get
O'Neill got
worse.
sacked.
Hmm?
When Wolves lost to Ipswich, Gary O'Neill
Neil
got
got
sacked,
sacked.
and that was the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was losing to Ipswich. That's how much better
I
Wolves
expected,
expect to be.
I expected more from Ipswich this season, if I'm being perfectly brutally honest. But we're not talking about Ipswich right
No.
now. We're talking about Wolves. What I'm saying is, right now they are in a relegation battle in
No,
the
they're not
season.
now, are they?
They're not.
now.
They
There's
are.
there's no
They're
battle.
12
done.
points
It's
clear.
Mate,
done.
there's no battle.
been done for
There's
weeks.
absolutely no
It's
Been
battle.
done for a long time.
Come on,
Great chance
please
to
stop
win
being
the league.
delusional.
They are 18th. They lose
I've-
to every other team in the league.
I've said for weeks now that Leicester are relegated. You have to say the same about Ipswich. You can't pretend.
down.
they're
No,
not.
No.
So you're-
it's
Ipswich-
3 points ahead of us.
Ipswich
You're
are
United.
going down. Ipswich
Yeah.
are
So
going
there's no
down.
relegation battle.
There was up
there's
until
none.
today. If
Right,
we
so-
if
No.
we won this game,
So you support United
for a
and
long
Ipswich,
time.
and they've beat both your clubs.
well, that's
they beat
depressing.
United and they've beat Ipswich.
My
Fair enough,
point
Ipswich
is,
beat
this
them
is
once.
this is Wolves' level, right? It's fourth from
What,
bottom,
beating Man
and it
United?
can only get worse.
Well, no, because think of the money
Why
they'll get
can
for
it only
Cunha.
get worse?
They'll get loads
Yeah,
of money
they're
for
going to have to pay
Cunha.
off their debt. Have you seen their finances recently?
The
They
only
are
problem,
fucked.
the only problem with Wolves is the ownership.
Yes.
Yeah, it's atrocious.
But
It is bad,
there's so many
yes.
clubs in the Premier League with atrocious owners.
Yeah.
Right.
No, but it's not just atrocious. It's the debt. They can't afford to reinvest. It's the same reason why Julian Lopetegui left them. Do you remember that? And
Yeah.
they had to go for Gary O'Neill because he could do it for cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I think
yeah,
that was
I
a rough
get-
grab
yeah,
to
I
get
get the
some-
Vitor
ownership
Pereira,
issues.
Well, do you remember when Vitor Pereira was appointed? How obviously he's done well, but do you know how
Everton,
little
Everton
people
wanted
believed?
him. Everton wanted him.
No
a few
one
years
believed
ago.
in him doing well. He has done well, but
Well,
no one
he
believed
has
him.
done well.
Done
And the
incredibly
reason
well.
why is because he was a cheap
But
option.
on your point about next season, that is not about Wolves though. The 3 promoted teams are going to go back down because the gap between the Championship and the Premier League is unattainable unless you break the rules.
Yeah.
Even if Leeds have the money to invest, they'll have to break the rules to do it.
They're gonna
I-
struggle.
And you're
I
going to
see
get a
what you're
points deduction for doing that.
I see why you're saying, because obviously you've seen it 2 seasons in a row where the 3 teams have gone back down again. But what I also see is players in the Championship which are fantastic, and teams in the Championship which are
Look at our
amazing.
squad last
The
season,
quality
though.
in Championship has gone up as well.
Could I just say, Leeds are the team that people are saying if they come up, they'll have a chance.
Yeah.
Our squad massively outperformed their squad last season,
Yeah.
and we had a much better squad, and we've managed 17
You
points.
should have done way better.
They will be the same next
Way
season,
better.
especially if they keep Daniel Farke. He won't do
I
anything.
see why you're saying it, but someone's got to to make the difference.
But they
I don't know
don't.
who it is, but someone's got to break this duck because it can't be the gap can't be this big.
But yeah,
with the quality that is in the
that's
championship
what I mean.
right now.
It is. You just got to accept it is that big.
Yeah.
It is actually that big. That's
the
the
last
case
time
now.
all three clubs stayed up, you had Forest, very ambitious owners that were willing to break the rules
Yeah.
to get where they are
Yeah.
now. Bournemouth, very rich owners who
Yeah.
own several major franchises out in the US. And then Fulham, who again, the owners they have been committed.
With a fantastic manager in
100%.
Marco
With a
Silva.
fantastic manager.
100%. No, I totally agree.
But that was only a few years ago. So it can't have just happened in the last 2 years.
Mark my words, click this up or whatever. All three promoted teams, it doesn't matter who they are, will be going back down next season, and Wolves will be completely fine yet again. You can click that whatever you want.
Right.
If it's Bristol
The
City,
three-
then maybe. But
The three promoted teams will be the three relegated teams again next season, and it won't be close.
Yeah. Anyway,
one of them's got to put a challenge.
all the other games, quickly run through. Crystal Palace 2, Brighton 1. Of course, Palace getting another win. Very good from them. West Ham drew 2-2 at home against Bournemouth. Aston Villa picks up a big 3 points at home against Nottingham Forest.
Very big.
And then, of course, Everton drew 1-1 against Arsenal. Let's move on to FPL. Henry,
I haven't got my phone.
you've not got your phone, have you? Let me see your points, because I know you were the lowest out of us four.
Yeah.
Let me have a look. Here we go. 21 points in total for Henry this week.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of forgot to play it for the last.
Not a
minute.
single player got more than 3 points. Like, it is rough.
I kind of gave up. I need to start trying again.
Yeah, Pickford 3 points, Aït-Nouri 2, Robinson, Kirkes, Van Dijk 1. Palmer was captain, of course he was on the bench, so he only got 1 point. Salah got 2, Kevin Schade got 3, Mbeumo got 3, Isak 2, João Pedro 1. I believe are you next?
I have 30 points.
You've got
so
30
probably.
points.
I've got
Yeah,
37.
you've got more,
Yeah,
so
so,
you're next, Matt.
I Pickford with 3 points. Wan-Bissaka, Kirkes, and Robinson all got 1. Basically, all my points came from Gvardiol, who got 9. Nwaneri got 1 off the bench. Mbeumo got 3. Fernandez got 3. And then Salah, my vice captain, got 2. Isak, our captain, he did nothing. He got 4. And Marmish got 2.
Nice.
So I got 37. Bearing in mind I haven't changed the squad since match day 16.
That is
So,
mental,
a
the
very
fact
long
that you
time.
got more
Jesus.
points.
David Raya in goal, Højsund, Saliba, and Van Dijk at the back. So Højsund on 4, Saliba 2, Van Dijk 1. Going up, McAllister, Palmer, and Salah. So going got 2, McAllister 9, Palmer 1, Salah 4, and it's my captain. Wissa 2, Isak 2, and Dilap 8.
Right, and then I got 45, so I didn't get too much better. Sells got 3, Kirkes got 1, Munoz got 8, Aït-Nouri 2, Salah got 2, Palmer got 1. I'm getting rid of him after the Ipswich Town game. I've had enough now.
he's
I've been
gone
too
for me.
patient. Jared Bowen got 7, Mbeumo got 3, Isak, who I captain, got 4. How did he not... Doesn't get a goal against Leicester City.
I know,
It's very
it's
frustrating. And then Strand Larson 6 and Jean-Philippe Mateta with 8. So currently at the top is Thomas Brownson with 2,053 points, although Kyle Williams in second place, 8 points behind. So we
Ooh,
could
it's getting
see
tight now,
could
isn't
see a new leader coming into the final few weeks. Anyway, let's predict some football matches. Let's start off with Newcastle United against Manchester United.
3-1 to
I was
Newcastle.
gonna say
No, 4-1 to Newcastle, sorry.
3-1 Newcastle.
It's at Newcastle.
I'm not
isn't
gonna.
it?
You know, I'm not gonna
It's at
predict
Newcastle, isn't it?
Newcastle
Yes.
to win.
Yeah,
Don't you know
4-1.
I'm not gonna do
So
that.
what are you
Well,
saying?
you're doing Keane's
1-1.
predictions, aren't you?
Yeah,
1-1.
1-1.
1-1.
I'm going to say 3-1 Newcastle.
Fair enough.
We're also going to, let's go for Wolves against Tottenham.
Ooh.
Oh, 5-0 Tottenham.
At Wolves.
5-0 Tottenham.
5-0 Tottenham? What do you mean 5-0 Tottenham?
2-1 to Wolves.
1-0.
Seriously?
It was
Yeah.
a draw early on in the season.
5-0 Tottenham. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. But let's be honest,
Is
guys.
that
Come
moiling
on.
you? They're
I don't
in great
care.
form.
I'm agreeing with Lenny a lot
here.
here. I'm saying 1-1 as well, you know. I could see that happening.
Swing
Sorry,
it.
the fact you backed
Swing it.
Tottenham to score 5 goals as
Yeah.
well.
Anybody
Against
outside the
anybody.
relegation teams to score 5 against Wolves.
Yeah,
They are
I
some
mean,
teams, so
I don't think Tottenham would even score 5 goals against us.
Yeah.
that is insane. Bournemouth against Fulham.
That's really hard.
2-1 Fulham.
2-1 Bournemouth.
2-2.
2-1 Bournemouth.
Again, could go either way, couldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, surely
Both
Bournemouth
teams
have got to
score.
win a game at some point.
The one thing
right?
I'd say about Fulham is that they haven't got a goal scorer.
Right.
Like Bournemouth do.
Yeah.
In Kluivert.
Manchester City against Crystal Palace.
Oh,
Ooh.
fuck's sake.
Palace always do good.
I'm going to
Is
say
Is it
don't
away
know.
or at home?
At home for City.
Is that the Etihad?
The empty had.
3-1 to City.
1-0 to City.
Yeah, 1-0 City.
Okay.
was leaning towards Palace though.
Yeah, we tight.
It's
We-
definitely a
I'm
chance.
feeling. I'm going to say 2-2. You know, I've got a funny feeling about
It was
Palace.
2-1.
They're
I hope
good
you're
run
right.
of form. City are just. I don't know. They're sort of. They might not even get in the Champions League.
please
In all honesty, you know, that'd be the first time since 2012. I think it would.
Wow.
Be.
Yeah.
I
been
want
a
to see them
long
in
time
Conference
now.
League.
Yeah, we've got 2 more to predict now. I'm struggling. There's a lot of games here that are relatively easy to predict. Shall we go for? Let's go Liverpool West Ham.
2-0.
2-0.
3-0 Liverpool.
3-1.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go 2-0.
Shame I like West Ham, but
Yeah.
not
It's
against
not
not against you lot.
No.
Barking out.
And then the final
I think the one you
game.
missed is quite hard, that one.
This one here, yeah.
Yeah, I like
All right,
that
let's go Nottingham Forest Everton then.
3-0 Forest.
You reckon?
Yeah.
See, I reckon it's closer now. I reckon 2-1.
2-1.
1-1.
Keane's not going to be happy.
1-all.
with it.
Wow. Okay. I'm saying 2-0 Nottingham Forest, and that
Yeah, it should be quite comfortable.
is all of our 6 predictions. And that is the end of this episode here on the Blue Podcast Network. Thank you all ever so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, turn on your post notifications, and go check out all of our other content on our other social platforms. Thank you for watching. Take care.